Hello there, welcome back. It's a Sunday morning. I just woke up and it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, as this is the way. Just first thing I do is I urinate, then I'll have my eggs on toast. I'll down a nice creamy frothy coffee, and then I'm ready to do some work. And the first thing I do is usually watch Landspeed Luke, just to catch up with all the goings on in the Black Series world. And I know that right now Hasbro are doing their PulseCon, and I tried my best to watch it, and it's too painful, too boring. So I got about 10 minutes into the Star Wars section, and I had to turn it off. So if you want to have a more thorough, detailed look at all the reveals and all the new stuff coming up, I suggest you go to Landspeed Luke or Luke Ness Monster, or Papa God, or some, one of those channels. They'll break everything down, and they'll be very concise and tell you exactly what you need to know in like literally 5 minutes. I don't have to sit there and watch Patrick and his cronies waffling on for about an hour, and it's like, oh my god. So yeah, right now, as far as I'm concerned, the reality that they are talking about and the reality here in Southeast Asia is not the same. All right, so I think it's interesting whenever I watch those live streams and they hold up a figure and then they say, this is going to be ready to pre-order tomorrow, and you guys can have it next year in 2023 in the fall. And I shed a tear in this eye, and then I chuckle out the side of this mouth. And it's like, but I'm going to have that on my table in like 4 weeks. So recently I've sold wave, I think it's 34 already, and Axe Woves, Darth Maul, and Ayla, the prequel Jedi. My stock was annihilated. I tried to get more. I actually resorted to scalping at one point because Hasbro yet again cut my orders, and so I had to go out and to all the different like toy stores, and just like I was really desperate. I was like, if they had anything on the shelf, I was like, just grab it. I don't care about the price. I need it. My customers need it. So yeah, that wave's pretty much, it's been and gone already. And recently, I've been selling a lot of the exclusives as well, the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. So we had the Ralph McQuarrie double pack, we had the Paz Vizsla with Jon Favreau's face sculpt, we had, what was the other one? Oh, Boba Fett, the black one, Arena Boba Fett. And also the latest one, which I got, is the Andor with B2 Emo. So I spent a lot of my money and my time on sourcing those ones and making sure people can get them, rather than having to wait, for an eternity. And now we're going to move on because, we've had some new reveals. Now the Andor line is a little bit complex, isn't it? Because I've recently been selling the 4 figures that just came up. So we had 2 Imperial officers. One of them's just called Ferrix. So Ferrix is the name of the planet, right? It's got nothing to do with the character's name. The other one is Dark Times. He's got a mustache, looks a bit like someone we know from the 1930s and 40s. And then you've got the new Shore Trooper and the Aldani mission, Andor. And we haven't seen any of these figures yet, and we're already up to like next week is going to be episode 5. I mean, in episode 4, we did kind of see the back of the Imperial officer, Ferrix. We did see the back of that trooper. You could tell he was like through the window. But we haven't actually seen like any of them like acting or doing anything. I think that's going to be interesting. I just wonder if the demand will spike again. So I might have to order more. I'm already on my 3rd batch, from the supplier in terms of those 4 figures. And then Hasbro just revealed to us another, I think it was 4. They're kind of the main characters so far, the heroes. We've got what's his name, Luthen Rail, and we've got Mothma, we've got Andor, and there was another one. Who's the other one? Let me just quickly have a look at on my file. Oh, Bix. Yes, Bix is the other one. So those 4, all like human characters. I know some collectors are a little bit kind of like, can we have some aliens? But I guess later on in the show, perhaps we'll get some more alien characters that are more central to the story, and then hopefully we'll get some Black Series based on those characters. And for sure, 100%, we're going to be getting the ISB characters. I think people, last week in episode 4, people were just like really excited to see the Empire's perspective on everything, and to go inside the, you know, the FBI of the Empire. So I think they'll probably have like probably 2 or 3 ISB characters that'll be figures. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to just basically collecting all of the figures for this line, because I truly believe that this show is like the best Star Wars content I've ever seen on Disney Plus. You know, it's better than Mandalorian, and yes, it's for a very mature audience. It's very gritty. It's really like it's like a drama, isn't it? I mean, the acting is just absolutely superb. I love it. The dialogue, the script, it's really good, you know. And I don't want to compare it to the other shows we've had, but for me, this kind of this style, this kind of approach to making Star Wars content is very suitable for my taste. So I'm really happy with Andor, the first 4 episodes, and I'm so pumped. We've got 8 more left, and then obviously they're thinking about doing season 2 as well. It's just it's so good. The other figures that have come out recently are the credit collection, and I'm kind of in 2 minds. I don't know whether or not to get them from the suppliers, because my prediction is that the demand is quite low for those. I think that the credit collection and also those old carbonite figures were just an attempt by Hasbro to, you know, kind of capitalize on using the molds over and over again and just repainting them. I hope that Hasbro can just stop doing that. I have heard a rumor that they're going to try something different with, they're calling it the Hologram Collection. So, you know, existing molds that we've seen many times before, and rather than just repaint them, I think they're going to do something like that's a little bit new. They're going to give it to us, like for example, you know, Moff Gideon or Din Djarin, you know, as a hologram image. I don't know how that's going to look, but again, this is all just hearsay at the moment, but it just sounds a little bit more creative than what we've got in the past. One of the things that stood out for me in Hasbro live stream was at the end when Patrick was talking about next year Hasbro is going to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Clone Wars, and there's going to be all these Clone Wars related anniversary items. Now, I was a bit miffed because now it's 2022, and I was under the impression that Attack of the Clones was 20 years ago, and we've had pretty much you know, subtle items to celebrate that movie, and we could have had a lot of clone inspired creations in, you know, TVC and Black Series. So it's kind of weird this year that it's been so quiet and no one's really mentioned it much, but I'm happy that next year they're gonna hopefully go full out on the 20th anniversary. It's not the Dave Filoni animation, it's Tartakovsky, but also he was a little bit unclear, Patrick. He said he started talking about all things Clone Wars, and I was like, well, what does that mean? That's very all-encompassing, isn't it? So you're going to throw in some Tartakovsky, you're going to, and I think that maybe Hasbro realized that this year they screwed up, because there was a high demand for Attack of the Clones anniversary figures, and then they didn't do it, so they were like, shit. So how about we'll just chuck that in next year with the Tartakovsky anniversary? So I think that's probably what they did to cover themselves. A lot of the new reveals are showing the PFP packaging, right? So there's no more windows, and I think that the first figures that we will see on shelves with no plastic windows are probably the Halloween holiday. You know, there's the Clone Trooper and also the Wookiee who looks like a werewolf. I really hope that we can get those in Taiwan. I've got a friend in Hong Kong, and they've already come out. They're already on shelves, and it would be a shame if Hong Kong has them but doesn't distribute them to neighboring countries. I would happily get, you know, like hundreds of cases of those and help collectors to gobble those up. In Southeast Asia, we don't follow the Western calendar, so there aren't any Western holidays. Like, no one really celebrates Easter or Christmas. There's no Thanksgiving. Halloween is like, I don't know, like the kids in kindergarten will dress up at school and then probably do trick or treat. and but it's not, you know, it's not like a big thing. So I think that's why in the past we've tended not to get any of those holiday exclusives. But I'm praying that, you know, Hasbro can change that policy, because I want them. Right, the most current arrivals for us here have been TVC. So we've got the Axe Woves, and also the R2 unit. He's the droid that accompanies Antok Merrick on his X-Wing. We have ordered the Dark Trooper, the deluxe pack, and that should come in the next couple of weeks. For the next two coming waves for Black Series, I mean, we've got a couple of figures that we know, but then the rest is all just blanks and question marks. So I think the next set, which is due at the end of this year, if I'm right, will be the Inquisitor from the Kenobi series. I can't remember which number she is though. It's the female Inquisitor. We have the Kenobi figure. So there were 3 Kenobi figures. So we had Wandering Jedi, then Tibidon Station, and then this will be the last one in the set. And also Tala in her Imperial uniform. So those 3 I think are all pretty much confirmed, but the rest are like, And then moving on from that, even further away, you know, like in 2023, I think it will be Luke, Skywalker. We'll get the HK droid, and then, you know, probably some of the new Andor figures that we saw revealed, like, you know, Andor himself, Mon Mothma, etc. And then again, a bunch of question marks. So we're not really too sure what's coming. We're going to need some more live streams from Hasbro and more. You know, try and get some more intel from people like Yakface. Okay, double thumbs up to Yakface. Jason, you're awesome, man. Thanks for helping me out. And then, yeah. Right, a couple more things before I go. So the first one was the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary is coming next year. And like everyone is talking about those, we've got 2 waves of the card backs. So, you know, for the mainline figures and for the deluxe figures, we're going to be getting the PFP packaging. But I think, you know, like for the card backs, obviously we still got the bubbles for 6 inches. The only one that there's a couple that I'm really interested in because I missed out on them. The Biker Scout's really hard to get hold of. I know he was put in the archive series, and it's very difficult to find. So I'm really interested in that one, and I'm also interested in Leia, the Andor, where she's got a poncho, and Han Solo. He's got, I think they both have soft goods, and I like those 2 very much. Also, is it Wicket, the smaller Ewok, and he's got a bunch of accessories? That one looks really cute, and I wouldn't mind buying that one. So there's like probably half of that wave to me I feel very, very nice, and I'll get them. And I'm not sure, but that's just for myself. I'm not sure for my clientele, for my customers. Again, I have to reach out, I have to do my homework and then ask them and see like what's your feeling on this. And then lastly, we've got a new animation show coming up, which is from the creators of the Clone Wars. It's called is it Tales of the Jedi? And we've seen the trailer already and it looks really exciting. We've got a young Dooku, and then an even younger Qui-Gon Jinn, who's his apprentice. And I'm wondering, are we going to get any figures for those? Because that would be just smashing. I mean, can we? Because that's such a large, like, portion of the fan base now, and also with the collectors, the people who grew up watching the Clone Wars animation and the prequels. So yeah, come on, Hasbro, can we have? I know it's good that we celebrate the original trilogy and we have the anniversaries, but you know, like I said before, like it's almost like you completely skipped Attack of the Clones this year, and it's like that's kind of disrespectful. So I would like to see some figures for the upcoming animation for that, and I want to see what's going on with the Bad Batch, because the series has been delayed by like 2-3 months, but you can still show us some, you know, can tantalize us with some images, with some reveals for the figures. I mean, so that's going to be the next exciting thing, isn't it? After we've got Andor animation, and then more animation with season 2 of the Bad Batch. Oh man! So right now everything is just like full steam ahead. All right, guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on all my social media, okay? And when I get to 2K on here, I'm going to be doing a giveaway so you can win some free figures, okay? All right, guys, this is the way. I'm going to go and play with my Andor machine gun.